you unmute here?
I know. I did. Hello? Okay, it's working. Sure.
Okay.
What does that say, dude?
Okay. Thank you to thank you to all of the voting delegates who have joined this meeting. My name is Suhani, and I currently serve as the Washington Deca State President. And the 5 candidates you see in front of you are our candidates to be state president next year. I am going to go ahead and let my interview panel introduce themselves here. So go ahead.
My name is Aiden Prowse. I'll be in charge of timing.
My name is Dan Sunchu. I'll be charging of the questions.
I'm Andrew Miner. I'm also helping with the questions.
And I'm Sandra Reddy, and I'm also helping out with the questions.
Perfect. Okay, so the way this is going to work is that each of our candidates is going to get 30 seconds to answer a question. We have some pre-prepared questions, but then we also would love to have any questions from you guys in the chat. And yeah, some rules for the questions: they cannot be inappropriate, and there should be no question that is directed only to one candidate. So yeah, you guys can start dropping any questions you have in the chat, and I'm going to let our state president candidates introduce themselves. So why don't we start from Akshita? You come up to the seat and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Akshita and I'm a junior at Camas High School and currently serving as your Area 9 president. I'm just really happy to be here right now and want to say that I want to serve because I found such an amazing community in Washington Deca, and I want to make sure that everyone else can feel that same way. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Akshita Amarnath. I'm a junior at Eastlake High School, and this is my 3rd year at Deca. And I'm running to be state president because I think we have the potential to up our competitive game. And my plan of having a mentorship program and many other events like Instagram Lives and all that is to help us succeed at ICDC. So vote Akshita for competitive success. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Annika Holopranover and I'm from Richland, Washington, and I go to Richland High School. I'm super excited to be running for state president. I also served as Area 6 president this past year, and I'm running because I believe every member has the opportunity to grow and become successful leaders, and I want to help you all achieve that. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ivan Bogle. I currently go to Deer Park High School. I'm a junior at Deer Park High School. This is my 3rd year in Deca, and I'm running for president because I believe that Washington has so much potential through connections and just growing as a state that we can truly be unstoppable as a state. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lily Cassiger. I'm from Grandview High School in Area 6, and I'm running to be your Deca state president because Deca has just given me so much opportunities, and I want to share that with everyone, the amazing and elite experience that Deca offers to everyone, and I just hope to share that all with you.
Thank you, candidates. So you guys can feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Reminder, they do not have to be all serious. You can ask funny questions too. And yeah, with that, let's get started. Aiden will cut you off if you go over your 30-second time limit. Okay, so the first question we're going to be asking is, what is your greatest leadership accomplishment? Whoever wants to go can come up. Okay, I guess I'll go.
Ooh. I would say my greatest leadership accomplishment was serving as the Area 6 president this year, and just the ability to network and connect with so many of our members through the different competitions and conferences. It was an amazing opportunity to just grow as a leader as well by attending leadership training and all the different workshops. So I hope to connect more with members and continue my journey as a state president. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. My greatest leadership accomplishment, I would say, was being the team captain for our wrestling team and helping lead our team this year to get 2nd place. It was definitely a different type of deal going to the Tacoma Dome and having that many people have influence on your freshmen and all of your team members, and trying to keep them to have good composure and just stay focused was definitely an eye-opener. It was business related, but in a way not. It just kind of separated business from sports, and I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Well, it's kind of hard to pick, but I think I want to talk about my link crew leader experience. So I was the facilities director this year, and I helped manage 200 plus link crew leaders and help them prepare for the summer freshman orientation. So that was a huge statistical, work that I had to do, and I was able to do it. I was able to provide, food and arrange a lot of things for that event. And I also helped expand link crew from just being a. Okay, thank you.
I think for Deca has been the source of just a lot of my leadership growth outside of being a state officer, which is such an amazing experience. I'm also extremely involved with my chapter. I'm the vice president of Camas Deca, and I spent countless hours trying to connect with members at the chapter level, because that's where I got a lot of my leadership experience and my love for Deca. And so I want to pass that on to other members.
I believe my biggest leadership accomplishment has been being elected as my chapter president this year, as my second year in Deca, because of the pandemic and everything that happened. There wasn't a real drive for anyone, and just taking it on has given me so much real working experience in being an officer, and just being able to adapt and go with the flow and just get the Deca experience at the fullest level.
Thank you, candidates. Awesome. Let's move on to our next question from the chat. I would like to know what each candidate would do if they were given 1 penny and told to turn it into $100 in 4 days. Ooh, tough one. Okay, whenever you guys are ready.
Again. Okay, so a penny to $100 in 4 days. So I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about this, actually, about how to turn a paperclip into a house. So I would first start up by, using Craigslist, and I would, with 1 penny, what can you get with 1 penny? Maybe I'd find a paper on the ground, and then I'd use my penny to do something with the paper, and then I'd trade it with someone, and then keep trading on Craigslist, and then end up by getting something important that's worth $100, selling that, and then getting my $100. Yep. Thanks, Aiden.
Thank you. I love the paperclip one, but I think social media is so huge right now. I think I would make it some kind of campaign and just be like, oh, this is the penny that some famous person held, or this was in the famous person's hand, and then I would just make get impressions off of that. I don't know.
I love that.
This is Lincoln.
I feel like this is oddly specific, but if I used a penny, I'd probably use it to make art of something, trace it onto paper, and then sell that and say I'm some notable artist or something like that. I have no idea, but that's kind of an idea for me.
So here's the thing about this penny, right? It is it is a very lucky penny. So this penny was actually at the site where they were filming the next Star Wars movie. And I just happened to walk onto set, and the director was like, oh my God, they just handed me a lightsaber for some reason. And they're like, oh my God, your lightsaber twirling skills are amazing. You should be the next Jedi in the next trilogy. So that's how I went from a penny to actually a billionaire, not just $100. So yeah, thank you.
Love that.
Don't know how I can step up to that, but I've had a lot of experience fundraising this past year. Hospital 1660, I don't know if anybody knows anything about it, but our school had to waive a lot of fees. And so we've had to get really creative with fundraising. So I would just say it all goes back into Deca, guys. So let's get some money and just invest and ask for donations. And our community is very tight knit. So I feel like I can make it happen in that amount of time.
Love that. Thank you, guys. Okay, our next question is, okay, Our next question is, what is one thing that you could improve in or be better at?
I'll go again. Okay.
So one thing I could improve in or be better at is probably giving others sharing responsibility. I tend to take on a lot of things, and then it's harder for me to then ask for help because I think that now this is all my responsibility. I've got to do everything and I got to get it done by this time. So I would say one thing I really want to work on and have been working on is also letting other people know that, hey, let's share. I can't do everything myself. And that's what being a team is all about anyways.
This is kind of funny because I was thinking about this today, and I think multiple state officers told me that I say sorry too much, or I don't have confidence in myself. And I think that's one thing that I really need to work on. I know imposter syndrome is a huge thing, and I think all of us, we just need to believe in ourselves and not let that stop us from doing bigger and better things. So that's my thing to work on.
I kind of have the same problem as Annika does, in the ways that I'll take on too much that I can actually more than I can actually handle. And then I tend to not ask for as much help, or my time management isn't the best, but that's what I'm currently working on. And it's honestly just something I'd like to keep getting better at throughout every aspect of my life, and until I guess die. Just something good to work on.
So weird chair. So one of the things I've been working on actually through Deca is I am a very detail oriented person. So I get caught up on details, and that ends up, making me spend a lot of time on one thing. So one thing that has really helped me is, competing in role plays where there is detail. You have to be, well versed in the detail, but also you have to look at the big picture and your creativity to be able to succeed competitively. So that's one way I've been working on developing this weakness that I have. Thank you.
One weakness that I have is that I am not the most straightforward, but I really want to work on my honesty and telling people how it is, because nothing's going to get solved if we're just beating around the bush. So I would like to be more honest and straightforward.
Love that.
That was a very straightforward answer. Yeah,
We
honest
all have things we need to work on. Awesome. Okay, your next question is, what would be your priority as a state president? And specifically asking, how would you integrate more rural chapters into these priorities?
Yeah, so this is pretty much what my campaign is about, right? One of my main goals is to get as many people to ICDC as possible, and mainly the goal is 1,000 people, 1,000 members. And one of these ways is to have more mentorship sessions and more, alumni guest speaker events, more Q&A sessions. And I want to do this over online mediums like Instagram and Zoom, so that members all over the chapter can join at any time. They don't have to. They could even be on their pajamas and still develop their
Your
careers.
time is up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Em.
So my priority to include all our members is definitely through some of my initiatives. So like I said, I want to do a competition prep Zoom call. This is on a Zoom, so it's a way for everyone in Washington, Deca to communicate and connect and build those relationships. And I also want to do public speaking workshops so that every member can advance their articulation and are able to present their projects really well. And I also want members to have clothing through our Deca closet, so they never have to feel like that is a barrier.
Your
between.
time is up.
Thank you, Aiden.
I'd like to get more people involved by just making it easier to know what Deca is and to kind of get involved at first, because once you get them involved, that's half of it. It's just getting them to begin that journey. Again, kind of what Annika said, just with our Deca closet, making sure that clothing is not an issue for competing members, and just honestly increasing enrollment is kind of my big thing. And networking, which would help, is like having Zoom meetings and just committing to.
Your time is up.
All right, thank you.
So a big part of my campaign is to make sure that DECA is more equitable, and that means giving more people in rural chapters a voice in Washington DECA, as a lot, I feel, of the bigger chapters sometimes take over. And a way to do this is by having monthly virtual leadership meetings so that you can be more connected with us and tell us what you need to succeed. I also think that expanding Learn DECA and the statewide Slack is really important because that gives you all competitive
Your time is up.
opportunities. Thank you.
So Grandview is an 85% like poverty, like low income school. So I'm very familiar with like rural areas and just doing our best to make sure everybody has the same opportunities. And so part of my campaign is the Dress for Success scholarship that I plan to create, which would allow anybody who needs a professional dress outfit to get that support in that area. And then the opportunity toolbox, which I feel like focuses on this a lot, is giving each chapter the resources they need to build
time
their
is up.
chapter.
Okay, thank you, candidates. All right. Our next question is, what was your biggest negative impact that you were able to turn positive? How would you help other students overcome their negative impacts through DECA?
I was in a car wreck pretty recently, and that was just probably my biggest struggle that I had to come over. And it made me really rely on other people, which is something I used to struggle with. So I would basically, from DECA members, I would help them to overcome their obstacles and encourage them to use their teammates as resources, or their coworkers, if you will, in SBE. Just relying on other people and realizing that you don't have to bear all of it alone. And then from there, we can work out to a better solution for these obstacles that they need to overcome. Thank you.
Well, I think COVID-19 is a big one that affected all areas of life, and DECA members were actually able to continue to participate in their community, which I think is huge because when everything shut down, members were still able to continue that. So for me, a big part of this was my chapter campaign, Treat a Cup, in which we raised money for organizations that needed help during this time. So that's how I was able to make a positive impact. And I want to give other members the
Your
same
time is up.
opportunities. Thank you.
So this is kind of like a personal experience, but a negative impact I had was when somebody said something not so kind to me a little while back, but I was then able to use that, even though it was something negative, but see it in a positive light. So then actually learn from that and change things that would benefit me as a leader and as a person. So this negative comment, I was able to bring it in a positive light and just become a better person in general. And I want to help teach DECA members that not all criticism is bad criticism, and we can always
Your time
learn
is
from
up.
our failures. Thank you.
So yeah, one of the negative impacts that happened to me was last year AP season, right? My AP World test, I was in India while we had to take it. And since this was an online test and synchronous, I had to take it in the middle of the night. And as I was taking the test, the power goes out. While this was a hard situation, I was able to plan before because I knew the Wi-Fi wasn't steady. So I was able to plan and overcome the situation and quickly resolve the conflict. And this really helped me understand that any situation
time
can
is
be
up.
handled. Thank you.
So I've had like knee injuries this past year in volleyball, and volleyball is something that has brought me a lot of joy. So not being able to play is something that really affected me and my mental health. But I just want to say to everyone to look for your support team, because all the teachers and friends that I've had have supported me through that and helped me get to where I am today.
Awesome. Is that all of them? Awesome. Okay. Next question is a fun one. What is your spirit animal and why? And feel free to do an impression if you're feeling
Oh.
Okay.
fancy.
Oh, okay. I got this one. I would say my spirit animal is a dolphin. And this is because dolphins are excellent leaders and one of the smartest, intelligent mammals as well. And so I like dolphins because they also work in teams. Like they're always developing and like always going together and always in sync. My dolphin impression, like I don't know what a dolphin sounds like. Like so, that's bad.
Love it.
I would say my spirit animal is a monkey because I really like how they work together as a team and also just have so much fun. Like I feel like it'd be so fun to just be a monkey and like be always with your friends and just like swing from trees and all the monkey things they do. I also have really good memories of it from like India, and I worked at like a primate center. Or I learned in a private center for a little bit. Impression. This is so generic, like ooh, ooh, like, and then you do the arms.
Okay, my spirit animal is definitely Perry the platypus, and that is because he's a man of little words, but he's also hardworking, and he's a man of action, and he's able to thwart Doofenshmirtz's plans while listening to his evil monologue as well. So impressions, I mean, nobody can recreate the iconic growl, but maybe thank you.
Now, I don't know if this really counts because it's technically a bug, but I'd say like a worker bee because like I like to start a task and just keep going, and it's usually for someone else, and also just being able to work together as a cohesive unit with the team, just all trying to achieve one goal. Until that goal is finished, then we don't stop. So I like that aspect of like the worker bee mentality.
What's your impression?
Oh, and it's like, bzz, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I don't think they make the sound. I think it's just the wind. So,
Oh, that's true.
Science.
like, yeah.
If I was an animal, I would say a frog, but I just like frogs. But I guess they're adaptable because they live on land and in the water, and that speaks to me. Ribbit, ribbit.
Rivet.
Yep.
Love
We did
that.
it for her, I guess.
Reminder to everyone in the chat, please drop some fun ones in the call. Please drop some fun ones in the chat. Love the fun questions.
Yeah,
Okay, next one. What are 3 words that your friends would use to describe you?
I think that's right. Thank you. I'd say my friends would, it depends on which friends you ask. I'd probably get a little bit of gullible, but hardworking and persistent is for sure the 2 other words they'd use to describe me, just because I tend to be pretty stubborn when it comes to my tasks that I've been assigned, and I really like to see them through fruition.
I think my friends would say I'm really loyal. I don't like, I'll say what I mean most of the time. And I think they'd say I'm really stubborn because I am, I can't deny it. And last, okay, this is so like weird, but my friends literally think like my only personality sometimes is Deca. So they probably use me, they literally use Deca to describe me. So that says something, I guess. I know that was funny.
Three words. First one would be kind. My friends would definitely describe me as kind because I always like to help out other people and put others before myself. And second one would be funny, probably. I love to crack jokes, even though some of them run flat. But okay, see where's this? But definitely funny. And then third one would be passionate because whatever task or whatever thing I take on, I'm fully commit to it 100%, and I'm passionate in
Your
what I
time
do.
is up.
Thanks.
The 3 would be lives at school because I do everything at school. I'm a student news anchor, yearbook editor-in-chief, Deca president, and a lot more other stuff. So I don't know. It's just, if you see my car in the parking lot, it's not really a surprise.
So I asked my friends this question actually, and they came up with 3 different words, but they all just meant determined. So I whatever I commit to, I am willing to see it through. I'm willing to put my 200% into it and be able to get an outcome out of that. So I think, yeah, determined. Thank you.
Love it. Okay, next question from the chat. What are your plans for SBE programs across school campuses?
I'd like to have monthly meetings or like have a co-op document where we can put our ideas and things that work through like processes and recipes for or techniques depending on the SBE. That way we can just all strengthen our SBEs as a whole group. That way we don't have just a couple excelling ones that are majorly excelling, and we all get our SBEs to excel at that level and just be an impressive large mass of a state and be a national competitor.
I like to work really closely with our SBE ACAMUS, and I think the really hard thing right now is just supply chain with vendors. So I want to like use the statewide Slack and make sure that people can get help from each other and be able to assist each other, because that's the best way to help SBEs get bigger and better. And I also want to have a starter toolkit because it is difficult to get everything together to set up an SBE. And I think my time's almost up, so I'm gonna go.
Scared of Aiden, right?
I need your gavel.
You should
Do we have the gavel?
Please, no, that's scary. So part of the opportunity toolbox would be incorporating different kinds of subjects that all relate back into Deca. So I'd like to make a SBE portion of the opportunity toolbox to help connect members who already know and those who want to learn.
So yeah, my team role play partner is actually also part of the SBE. So I've been working closely with and been volunteering at their student store as well. So I think one of the main ways is to get more volunteers, more people from your school involved in your school SBE to help make that happen. I was thinking maybe we could have business professionals in marketing and other things come and talk to our SBE teams to help market their store, both for purchases and for people to volunteer and help it grow. Thank you.
For our SBEs, I really like what Ivan said about collaborating within our state. I think we can learn so much from each other, and there's some really big SBEs and there's some smaller ones out there, and just collaborating and having a good network so that all chapter officers know how to perform well when they're doing their SBE and to make sure that everybody succeeds. Thank you.
Is that everyone?
Yes.
Awesome.
All five.
Okay, next, my favorite question in the chat so far. Which advisor in Washington Deca has the shiniest head?
Oh, no, because I take this one. It's literally Mr. Sharva, and
No.
he's gonna.
Lily, we're gonna ask move on to the next question.
Oh
Sorry.
wow. Okay.
I apologize.
Okay, sorry for the miscommunication. The next question will actually be since we are a business and marketing organization, how would you sell hot chocolate in the summer in Florida?
Like Starbucks, I would pour that hot chocolate over ice, put a shot of espresso in it, and that's suddenly iced cocoa coffee. So that's where I'm at. And I think honestly, it would be great because you don't have to mention it's hot cocoa, and it could just be Ghirardelli chocolate coffee that you're selling, and it's your own invention. Maybe you could even patent it. Thank you.
Okay, I would try to pivot and be like, this hot cocoa is just a sugar hit. This is your way to be at the beach all day and not get tired and just, like have this like little coffee or like this little like hot beverage hit. So I would just go with that.
Is it hot chocolate? Or is it just your mind telling you it's hot chocolate? So if you're in the middle of a heat storm, nobody's really gonna want a hot chocolate. But if it comes with like, here's this hot chocolate, and a gift voucher to come back for our next season's drinks, then more people would be interested. So it's not just hot chocolate, it's also coffee, Rebels, and anything else they want.
Coffee in the winter.
I kind of agree with Akshita. I think I'd reinvent it and I'd probably mix it with heavy whipping cream and like powdered sugar and whip it and make it like a whip topping so you can put it on stuff or just eat it like that. So it's actually like low fat. So it'd actually just be better. I don't know. I've done that before and I'm telling you like it's amazing. So like you should obviously believe it.
It's cream.
Air is low fat.
When you're trying to sell a product, you just have to create a need. And so you tell people that they need to drink hot chocolate in the summer. And if everyone around them is drinking hot chocolate in the summer, they're left out if they're not drinking hot chocolate in the summer. So you create a need.
Awesome. Okay, next question. What are some extracurriculars that you do outside of DECA?
So yeah, rapid fire. I play the violin. I'm the concert master at my orchestra. I play softball. I was also the lead starting pitcher. And a couple other things. I'm also in SNHS. I love science. I'm also taking the biotechnology course. Go, Mr. Green. And recently we've been doing a couple of experiments called electrophoresis and PCR. That's been really great. And that kind of links to what I want to do in the future, kind of something that
Your time is up.
Thank you.
A quick reminder to our candidates to please be respectful of the person who is talking, and so we can ensure that all of our budding delegates can hear them.
As I've mentioned before, I am an athlete. I play 3 different sports: wrestling, football, and soccer. I've wrestled for like 13 years. I've played football for the past like 7, and then I've just rejoined soccer after taking a couple year break. Basically just sports helped me a lot and just how I portray myself, and honestly my physical fitness, obviously, and just determination is a huge one that I gained from my sports that I play.
Well, I try to kind of cut down my extracurriculars to some things that I'm really passionate about, but I also really like to keep busy. So I am in my HOSA chapter, I am the Red Cross president, and in DECA. And those are like my 3 main things in school. And all of those, I like to take the extra step and think of like be in leadership positions and help people with that. And then outside of school, like my hobbies, I love drawing and painting and all of that. And I also play the piano, and I just love listening to music
Your time is up.
or singing.
Okay, so my chapter's president for DECA. I'm a student news co-anchor on our Greyhound Express Student News. I'm class president, I'm yearbook editor-in-chief, and I play varsity volleyball in the fall. And yeah, I just love hanging out at the school. Pretty much.
Outside of all things DECA, I'm a big science enthusiast, so I always participate in the regionals, state and international science fair. And I also love dance. I've done all kinds of dance, hip hop, jazz, ballet, you name it. And I used to do cheerleading as well, so really into that dance spirit. And I also play the guitar. I've been playing for over 5 years now. And yeah, it's some things I do. Always bring in the hype.
I did not see that.
Love that. Okay, next question. What sets you apart from your other, candidates running for state president?
Guess I'll go first. I would like to think I'm very goal oriented, and I have a set goal in mind, and I'm willing to do everything that it takes and work with different people, work with professionals to get there. Again, just to reiterate, it's to establish a mentorship program that can help more competitors get to ICDC. And we are aiming for 1,000 competitors, which is a hefty goal. But I am sure with my determination and the support of the state officer team, I think we will be able to achieve that. Thank you.
other than the obvious gender difference amongst my fellow candidates, I feel like I'm more goal oriented, especially in the SBEs area, where we all kind of have the same opportunity, like goals in mind to like connect our states and connect our chapters. But I feel like I focus a little bit more on SBEs, and I feel like I bring that smaller school aspect into the presidency in the campaign that some other schools don't necessarily have.
Okay, so I've spent a lot of my life just trying to be like perfect and a role model, but this year, just with everything that has gone on in my life, I'm starting to be more human and down to earth, and I hope that shows through.
I want to say, and people have told me this a lot, I'm a born planner. Like since I was little, I plan everything, or I know what I'm doing, or I like know what I was gonna do in high school, and then a bunch of stuff happens and things change. But like I was a born planner. But then throughout high school and throughout my DECA journey, I learned how important it was to be flexible and go with the flow. And then the really cool thing about DECA is that it gives you the skills you need so that you can be flexible and still be perfectly okay.
So I don't know about the other candidates, so I don't want to speak too much on that. But for me, I value leadership a lot. It's played a huge aspect in my life, and it's helped me grow as a person and to become a better articulate speaker as well. So leadership is a big thing, and I was also the state officer this past year, so that's taught me a lot on organization and planning and changing things up on the fly, even when they don't go as you have quite planned.
Okay. Next question. What is something you could teach me about?
I think that might be an obvious one for me because most people don't even know the first thing about it. It's just wrestling, like the scoring of it and just the different things about it. Just because of how long I've been doing it, and it's such an integral part of my life that I know pretty much all there is to know about the scoring and like the logistics of the sport. So that's probably the only thing I can teach you at the moment.
So my dad and I, we do a lot of different projects, like the most random things you can think of. Like we collect speakers, and this summer we just brought a secondhand like Tahoe, and we were able to like take off the fender and do some repairs and put it back together. So I've been getting into mechanics a little bit, and it's just like my problem solving skills, everything. It's just so applicable to so many different things in a hobby. So I think
Your time
Suhani,
is up.
thank you.
As I mentioned, I participate in the science fair, so I could definitely tell you more about science and why you should get involved in STEM. But really, science fair also taught me how to speak to other scientists and students and how to communicate your ideas well. So I also kind of ties into my initiative of setting up public speaking workshops so every member can speak well during their competitions to elevate their performance. Thank you.
So, well, Suhani said, what can I teach her? And I know that she's really busy and that she has a lot on her plate. So I don't know if I could teach her this, but I would do finger painting with her, or like just painting in general, or just like have a bunch of big paints and just like do random things with it. So like, de-stress.
Oh, I love that.
That seems so relaxing.
Okay, I was a huge Pokemon nerd when I was little. I still kind of am. So there's that. But I could teach you a lot of the Pokemon. Not all of them. There's too many. But I could teach you a lot of them.
Pokemons. I remember the Pokemon Go phase.
Pokemon Go.
Okay. Next question. If you are not chosen as president, how will you still impact DECA in a positive way?
No, I'm interested. I'll take last.
So no matter what happens in these next few days, there is no way that I will not be giving my all to DECA next year. And a big part of that is through my chapter in my community. I will be heavily involved with my chapter no matter what. Chemist DECA has such an amazing program with amazing students. And I think like the impact that I'll be able to make there and all chapter officers are able to make is not any less than being a state officer.
Even today, when I've had maybe like 2 or 3 hours to talk to people, I've been able to make the best friends. Like I've been able to speak to these candidates. We've been planning on actually just having a group chat and being able to like bounce off ideas off of each other. I've been able to meet new chapters and other schools, and I've been able to just like talk to and network with all these people. And I think I will definitely continue doing that with the platform I have. I think it is my responsibility to be able to like help even mentor my own mentees. Thank you.
Aiden's cutting everyone off today. So if I win Washington president or if I don't, I'm still gonna definitely continue to be involved in DECA. DECA has given me so much and I'm not just going to stop because of the setback. And I will definitely continue to contribute in my chapter, whether that's taking classes or taking an active role in leadership. But my DECA journey will not stop here. Thank you.
Kind of like how she just said, it really doesn't affect it. Honestly, I've learned so much at this point just from the campaigning process, and helping public speak in front of just that many people is definitely helping me in my DECA career. I'll continue to show my chapter all my effort that I have, and I still love DECA either way how this turns out. This is just an extra amazing opportunity that I'm super glad I have. But yeah, no, other than that, nothing really changes for me. I just keep plugging away.
If I am not elected, I'm just gonna focus on competition and my chapter efforts and just helping get the most engagement we can get out of it, because it'll be my last year of high school and I want to make the most out of it.
Hey, Suhani, I have one comment and I think it's a shared sentiment. So could I just like say it out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we were all just talking about how it really doesn't matter which one of us becomes DECA state president. We were talking about how we would empower each other and how honestly every one of us is qualified to do so, and we would all support each other. So I think we all are very influential in our DECA chapters, and we would continue to be doing that.
Thank you for that, Akshita. Yeah, and I totally agree. You know, being a state officer, being state president is an amazing honor to have. But, you know, being a chapter officer, being involved in your chapter just allows for a completely different, you know, perspective and way you can impact members. It's not any less, you know? Okay, so we are going to be doing our last 2 questions, one fun one and then one serious one. So one fun one. So, you know, a big part of being DECA state president is being able to, you know, convey your ideas with clarity and, you know, being able to be effective in your communication. So fun one. Describe the color blue to someone who's blind.
So are they born blind or they recently
Born.
became?
Born. They've never
Are
seen
they
color.
born
Blind their whole life.
They've
They've
never
never
seen
seen
color.
color. They've never seen color.
Oh, I got this.
But okay,
They
but
do
they've
not know
learned
blue.
about
I
like
got
the
this.
ocean and stuff. They've lived the life, so they
But
know
they don't know color.
what's blue.
Okay, let's give Ivan the floor.
I'd say just think of cold and that feeling you get when you're cold. And just that feeling of like a watery fluid, just something that's resembling cold. I don't really know much else, but I feel like cold is like represented by blue. I don't really think there's another color for that. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my mind went to like synesthesia and stuff, like when people can hear something and see color. So I would say something calm, something zen, or even just like yeah, calmness and collected determination. I think those all describe the color blue pretty well. I would also say hope, and because you know the sky is blue and it's kind of hopeful, but you know they wouldn't know that, but I still think blue is a very hopeful color, and honestly that represents DECA a lot.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
They just
So I have a different approach. I would say think of an emotion. So kind of like what Akshita said, but thinking back to Inside Out, how the main person, the sadness was blue. So when you're sad or when you're feeling down about something, that's the color blue. So that's my approach.
Well, I think that's hard because blue is my favorite color and it is so versatile. I like it in every single stage in my life. So I think blue can be anything from extremely intense, extremely like high energy, like Deca, blue, come on. And then it could also just be relaxing, just like laying in bed, having a cozy day. And then it could be like fun, like aquamarine, and it could just be so many different things. So I would say
Your time
blue
is
is
up.
versatile.
We know now.
I'd say blue is just when you're feeling like calm and at peace, and there's just a cool like breeze in the air, and you're just at peace.
Awesome. Is that everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to our last question. What inspires you?
I'd say this is a who rather than a what. And that would definitely be my dad. My dad is my biggest inspiration when it comes to science or leadership. He has done so much and he continues to push me. Actually, during the award session today, he was watching it, live streaming at home, and was just hyping me up when I got done. And that really motivates me to be a better leader and a better person. So definitely my dad.
Thank you. I'd have to agree with Annika on that. I also believe that it's more of a who, and my family and just the younger members of even my Deca chapter, they motivate me probably the most to keep striving, because I'm at the end of the day, I am a leader to them, or at least I'd hope so. And I want to set a good example for them. And at the end of the day, if I ended up not wanting it, I know that they'd want that for me to finish it out, which also helps keep me going and keeps me motivated. So definitely the younger members of my Deca chapter and my
Your
family.
time is up.
Thank you.
I also agree. My inspiration comes from my advisor at my high school, Mr. Harvey, and he's just helped me through so much, and he keeps me going.
So my parents have definitely inspired me. They taught me what it means to work hard and to like have determination, definitely like immigrant mindset. But I think the main person in my Deca journey is my advisor, Susie Downs. She's literally our biggest advocate. She won't let us do anything but her best, and she will give us opportunities that we may never have again. So that's who inspires me.
Again, it's definitely the people. For me, it's honestly just everybody, but today especially, it was my chapter, the entire chapter, every single person, they bring that energy. I remember after my interview, I had a long time of wait. I was quite tired, to be completely honest, but once they came in, like I was also pretty anxious about my speech, but once they came in, I was like on top of the world. I was so confident. Everybody was hyping me up, and that just felt so great. So it's definitely the thing that inspires me are
Your
my
time is
chapter
up.
members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
That was a good way to end. That was
Pretty awesome last question. Thanks, I came up with it myself. Everyone. And a huge thank you and congratulations to all of our state president candidates. You know, making it this far itself is, you know, a really big achievement all in itself. And I cannot wait to see one of you, you know, take my position. And even if you don't get the position, I'm sure there are amazing things for you in your future. To all of the voting delegates still on, so voting will be tomorrow virtually from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Do not miss that window. Your advisor should have the links that they will send out to you to vote. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me or any of our other current state officers on Instagram. And yeah, we look forward to announcing our new state president at the grand award session on Saturday. So let's get hyped. Okay. This recording will be posted and we will see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.